more leaked photos of the allegedly big Navi RX 6900 XT have surfaced, and from these photos I think it's safe to say that we're looking at a GPU that, based off of latest leaks and rumors, is very powerful, based off of Navi 21 with 8 CUs or compute units on a 256-bit bus interface, a triple axial fan cooler that should be able to handle heat up to 300 watts of power, and according to poll on Red Gaming Tech, it could even come with a huge cache size of 128 megabytes that AMD apparently calls Infinity Cache. Everything points to this being a beast of a graphics card, but there is more. According to Red Gaming Tech, the RX 6900 XT might be so powerful that it may compete with the 3090 or even the upcoming 3090 Ti. Guys, in this video we're gonna look at everything you need to know about AMD's upcoming RDNA 2 graphics card lineup. We got a ton to talk about, so let's not waste any more time here. In case you don't want to miss any upcoming gaming PC builds, make sure to subscribe to the channel to never miss an episode. Now, right now we don't know about this cache size and how it works, but apparently one reason for this even existing is to compensate for the relatively small bus size. And lately, guys, more rumors have been pointing towards big Navi and Navi 21 having a bus width of just 256 bits, but thanks to the allegedly Infinity Cache, it shouldn't make the 6900 XT less powerful. Just by looking at the 6900 XT photo from AMD, we can make the assumption that the triple fan card is quite powerful despite being on a very power efficient 7nm process, and according to rumors, Navi 21 is said to have a fairly high core clock speed with over 2 GHz base clock, and it seems like it could even get higher clocks than PS5, so we're looking at upwards 2.3 GHz core clock. This ultimately requires AMD to put a dual 8-pin power connector here. Each of these guys are rated for 150 watts, and with all that in mind, we can be pretty sure that we're looking at a flagship GPU here, most likely the RX 6900 XT. Now, I want to stay on the Infinity Cache for a second. Hearing about this massive Infinity Cache got me thinking, how big is really the cache size on a GPU? Well, it turns out that the GPU cache size is usually quite small. Just looking at the 2080 Ti and the RX 5700 XT, we see that both these cards have a very small cache size. In fact, in comparison, it is almost non-existent. And even if we look at Nvidia's 3090 top flagship, we're finding very low numbers here compared to the 6900 XT said to have 128 megabytes. Now remember, guys, whether the mysterious Infinity Cache exists obviously remains to be seen, and I think it's important to have in mind that until anything's been official, this is all just rumors, so obviously it should be treated as such. It's obviously going to be interesting to see if AMD implements this and how big of an impact this will have on the gaming performance. So let's talk about the leaked photos, and apart from the official image from AMD and the ones leaked by Jace 2 Cents, Red Gaming Tech has also come across a few pictures from a couple of different angles. Let's start with the triple fan 6900 XT, and the card features a dual 8-pin connectors, and remember, guys, a single 8-pin can output 150 watts, so that essentially means that the cooler could be good enough for 300 watts of TGP, depending on how far AMD wanna push the core clock speed. And if you remember Sony's presentation, we know that Mark Cerny talked about how they managed to clock the GPU fairly high, but it comes with the expense of heat. And so my point is that we're most likely looking at a very high-end 4K GPU here. It does seem like some of the shroud is made of plastic with an aluminum plate running through the middle all the way to the back of the card. I think it looks very nice and much more aesthetically pleasing than Radeon 7, for example. Flipping the card around, we find a completely enclosed backplate. Now, looking at the front again, the Radeon logo is definitely made of an acrylic material, which confirms that it will indeed feature LEDs that can light up in red. Looking at a different angle, we can see that there is a large aluminum heatsink that runs from one side of the card to the other. Finally, we can see that we're looking at a 2-slot reference design here. What do you think about the cooler? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on to the second variant that was leaked, and once again we see a dual slot card, but this time we find 2 fans. The cooler is said to be designed for the RX 6800 or possibly the 6700 according to poll on Red Gaming Tech. It is expected that this cooler shroud houses the Navi 22 GPU, said to come with around 60 or so compute units, and this should make it powerful enough for AMD to have it compete against the RTX 3070. And speaking of performance, regarding the 6900 XT and whether this card can compete with the 3080 or even the 3090 obviously remains to be seen. TSMC's redefined 7nm process is more power efficient than Ampere's from Samsung. Now, judging from these photos, there is no denying that AMD is pushing the 6900 XT to compete in the high end. Otherwise, they wouldn't use a triple fan cooler. And we know that just looking at the Xbox Series X power outlet, for example, we know that Series X have a max power draw of 200 watts, for example, and RDNA 2 is supposed to be power efficient. Based on all leaks we've seen so far, here's my prediction in terms of price and general gaming performance stand against Nvidia's cards. Let me know your thoughts down below. As for release date, guys, we know that AMD will officially be unveiling the 6000 series cards on October 28th. Let me know in the comments, do you think that the 6900 XT can compete with the 3080 or even the 3090? In the meantime, which card are you looking forward to the most? Let us know in the comments below.